Chapter 2, page 7. Gil had flung open their front door after school on February 13th, exactly 18 months and 2 days ago, grumbling to his mom. Their teacher, who apparently lived in the Paleozoic era, was forcing them to follow the age-old ritual of handing out valentines. Like we're supposed to learn something from shoving pieces of paper at each other. If they make us do this next year in 6th grade, Frankie and Lonnie and Donnie and the rest of the guys and I already decided. We're going to put worms in our envelopes. Silence. His mom leaned her full weight against the living room wall. Gil's stomach moved to his throat. What's wrong? Where's Dad? He's okay, she said, but he's at the police station, helping straighten out the incident at work. Someone tried to steal a lot of money. So why are you crying? The people at Golly are like a family. She took a shaky breath, cleared her throat, and straightened up. Okay then, Valentine's, huh? Let's find something that won't embarrass you. They spent the evening filling out valentines and playing chess, and the last thing Gil remembered was trying to stay awake through the end of an old Indiana Jones DVD. The next morning, he rounded the corner for breakfast in time to catch his mom throwing away the unread newspaper. Strange. Both his parents always read it from first section to last, then recycled. Where was his dad? Gil sneaked the paper from the trash. Orchard Heights Times. Golly executive arrested, charged with an attempted theft. The Goodson family in happier times. Orchard Heights. Police yesterday arrested Charles Goodson, vice president of Golly Toy and Game Company, for attempting to embezzle company funds. Goodson, 36, of Orchard Heights, was seized in his office at Golly and went peacefully with arresting officers. A Golly spokesperson said the attempted involved an account theoretically accessible only to company president Thaddeus G. Burt GollyWhopper Jr. and his attorneys. Goodson allegedly reprogrammed the computer system to send himself $25,000 each week until the fund, containing approximately $5 million, was depleted. The company believes Goodson accessed the account through an outdated series of passwords once used to protect the files. Goodson declared his innocence, but declined further comment on advice of his counsel. A bail hearing has been set for tomorrow morning. That day at school, one group of kids bombarded Gil with questions. Another avoided him like he was a rabbit bat. Even the whispers outnumbered the people who tried to treat Gil normally. Those reactions weren't so bad, though, not compared to basketball practice the next Sunday when Rocky Titus, this guy in the grade above Gil, decided to slash Gil's arm every time the coach wasn't looking. Even Gil didn't see the last blow coming, the one that made him fall to the ground, withering in pain. He did hear Rocky whisper, "Serves you right, you son of a crook." By the time Gil's arm healed that spring, baseball season had started without him, and when football season began in late summer, just before 6th grade, Gil thought he was ready to get back in there until Lonnie and Donnie, the twins in his grade, came up to him during their first practice. "We've been thinking," Lonnie had said. "We don't want a cheater on our team." "I'm not a cheater," said Gil. "Yeah, right," said Donnie, "and your dad's not a thief. Go home." Gil looked to his so-called friends for support, but they just shook their heads. That night, Gil convinced himself that sports weren't so great. Maybe he'd change his mind after the trial. The trial that November was 10 days of pure nastiness. Gil's mom had warned him that one whole set of lawyers didn't care about the truth. Their job was to get a guilty verdict and send Gil's dad to jail for a long time. It was even uglier than that. But when the jury came in with a not guilty verdict, Gil floated as if his body were filled with helium. "Get ready, sports. Goodson's back." "Wipe off that smirk," said Rocky Titus at school the next morning. Gil felt all the color drain from his face. "What do you mean?" "I mean, your dad's still guilty. They just couldn't prove it. Everyone knows that." "You are such a jerk." Gil shoved past Rocky and tried to make himself invisible again. After the trial, Gil's dad talked about leaving town and starting over. But even now, on August 11th, they were still in Orchard Heights. His dad worked a low-paying job at the university library, Then every night he'd comb through the investigation files the private detectives had left behind. Gil could barely get him outside to play catch anymore. His dad sat glued to the dining room table, scribbling in those old folders, typing into the computer, again and again. Are we ever going to leave? Gil had asked his dad about 6 months ago. He pointed to the files. Can't afford to right now. Maybe soon. What if I can afford to? Asked Gil. What if I win the GollyWhopper games? You win, his dad had said, and we'll move.